Transform your garden with low-maintenance perennials. Hi, I'm Sam from Seniors Gardening Advice, and today I'm sharing something that could completely change how you approach gardening. Many people assume that a beautiful, colorful garden requires hours of backbreaking work every week. But what if I told you that you could create a stunning flower paradise that practically takes care of itself? Imagine gorgeous blooms year after year with minimal effort. That's exactly what we're diving into today. Join our gardening community. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. We're building the most supportive community of senior gardeners on YouTube. Every week, I share strategies that make gardening easier, more enjoyable, and far less work. If this video helps transform your garden dreams into reality, give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more gardening enthusiasts just like you. The smart way to garden. Let's be honest, we've all been there. You stroll through a garden center, dreaming of colorful blooms greeting you every morning. Then reality hits. Endless weeding, constant watering, pruning, and seasonal replanting. It's exhausting, expensive, and frankly, overwhelming. Here's the secret most gardening shows won't tell you. You don't need to spend your golden years struggling with high-maintenance plants. By choosing the right low-maintenance perennials from the start, you create a garden that works for you, not the other way around. These plants are time-tested, resilient, and return stronger every year while requiring minimal care. What makes a plant truly low maintenance? Margaret Thompson, garden expert and author of Perennial Paradise, identifies 3 critical traits for easy care perennials. Reliable longevity. They return for at least 4 growing seasons, thriving even under occasional neglect or challenging weather. Year-round appeal. Beyond blooms, they offer attractive foliage, seed heads, or structural interest that keeps your garden looking intentional. Minimal management. They don't need frequent division, deadheading, or pruning to look their best. When you choose plants that meet these criteria, your garden practically takes care of itself. Strategic planning for success. Creating a low-maintenance garden isn't just about plant selection, it's about planning. Fall is the perfect time to evaluate your landscape. Identify bare or uninspiring spots near entrances, mailboxes, or corners that felt neglected last season. Planting in autumn gives perennials a head start on root development, resulting in stronger, more resilient plants with better drought tolerance. Focus on late summer and fall bloomers to ensure your garden maintains color when it's needed most. Avoiding common mistakes. Community plant sales may seem tempting, but many donated plants are fast-spreading or high-maintenance varieties, such as mint or bee balm. While free plants appear cost-effective, they often require frequent management, division, or editing. Investing in carefully selected, appropriate perennials will save you time, frustration, and ensure a truly low-maintenance garden.
The ultimate low-maintenance perennial collection. 1. Chrysanthemums, the autumn superstars. Most people think of mums as temporary autumn decorations, purchasing them in full bloom and discarding them after the first frost. This misconception represents one of gardening's greatest missed opportunities. Quality chrysanthemums are actually hardy perennials that will return and expand year after year, creating increasingly impressive displays with each passing season. The secret lies in selecting the right varieties and planting them properly. Garden mums sold as temporary decorations are often tender varieties bred for greenhouse production. However, hardy garden mums like Sheffield Pink and Cambodian Queen are completely different plants. These robust varieties can handle temperature swings, drought conditions, and general neglect while producing abundant blooms from late summer through the first hard frost. Sheffield Pink deserves special recognition for its exceptional performance in challenging conditions. This variety produces masses of small, daisy-like flowers in a soft pink shade that complements virtually any garden color scheme. The plants form neat, rounded mounds that look attractive even before blooming begins, and the flowers attract beneficial insects while providing late-season nectar when many other plants have finished flowering. Cambodian Queen offers similar reliability with stunning bronze-orange blooms that seem to glow in autumn sunlight. This variety is particularly valuable because its deep, warm colors work beautifully with fall decorating themes, while providing living color that doesn't require replacement every few weeks. Both varieties grow in zones 4 through 9, meaning they're suitable for most areas of the United States. They prefer full sun locations, but will tolerate some shade, and they're remarkably drought-tolerant once established. The key to success is planting them in well-draining soil and avoiding the temptation to overwater during their establishment period.
2. Hardy hibiscus. Tropical beauty without the fuss. When most people hear hibiscus, they immediately think of delicate tropical plants that require careful protection and constant attention. Hardy hibiscus completely shatters this preconception by delivering massive, show-stopping blooms on plants that can survive harsh winters and return stronger each year. Also known as rose mallow, or by its botanical name Hibiscus moschus, this Native American plant produces flowers that can reach dinner plate size. Some varieties boast blooms measuring 8 to 10 inches across. The flowers come in shades of white, pink, red, and burgundy, often with contrasting centers that add visual drama to any garden setting. What makes hardy hibiscus truly special is its combination of spectacular appearance and minimal requirements. These plants thrive in full sun and actually prefer moist conditions, making them ideal for areas where other perennials might struggle. They're perfect for rain gardens, low-lying areas, or spots near downspouts where excess moisture collects. The plants die back completely in winter, which initially alarms new growers, but is completely normal behavior. In spring, new shoots emerge from the base and quickly grow into substantial shrub-sized plants that can reach 4 to 6 feet in height and spread. The dramatic size transformation from winter dormancy to summer magnificence never fails to impress visitors and neighbors. Hardy hibiscus performs reliably in zones 5 through 9. And established plants can tolerate brief periods of drought, though they prefer consistent moisture for optimal blooming. They require virtually no pruning or maintenance during the growing season, and the large flowers are self-cleaning, meaning spent blooms drop naturally without requiring deadheading.
3. Helianthus, native sunflowers for effortless impact. When people think of sunflowers, they usually picture the giant annual varieties grown for their massive seed heads. Perennial sunflowers, particularly the lemon queen variety, offer all the cheerful impact of their annual cousins, with the added benefit of returning year after year with increasing vigor and bloom production. Helianthus, the botanical name for sunflowers, includes numerous perennial species that are native to North America and perfectly adapted to challenging growing conditions. These plants evolved to thrive in prairies and open woodlands, which means they can handle drought, poor soil, temperature extremes, and general neglect while still producing abundant flowers. Lemon Queen deserves special mention as one of the most reliable and attractive perennial sunflowers available. This variety produces masses of bright yellow daisy-like flowers on plants that typically reach 4 to 6 feet in height. The blooms appear from midsummer through fall, providing consistent color when many other perennials are finishing their main flowering period. The ecological benefits of native sunflowers cannot be overstated. These plants support an incredible array of beneficial insects, including native bees, butterflies, and predatory insects that help control garden pests naturally. The seeds provide food for birds well into winter, and the sturdy stalks offer nesting sites and shelter for beneficial creatures. From a maintenance perspective, perennial sunflowers are virtually foolproof. They prefer full sun and well-draining soil, but will tolerate partial shade and various soil types. Once established, they're extremely drought-tolerant and rarely suffer from pest or disease problems. The plants spread slowly through underground rhizomes, gradually forming larger clumps without becoming invasive or requiring frequent division.
4. Bleeding heart, shade garden excellence. Finding reliable, attractive perennials for shaded areas presents challenges that frustrate many gardeners. Most flowering plants prefer full sun, leaving shade gardeners with limited options that often involve expensive annuals or high-maintenance species. Bleeding heart, specifically Dicentra eximia, solves this problem by providing consistent beauty and reliable performance in partial to full shade conditions. Unlike the more common Dicentra spectabulis, which blooms briefly in spring and then goes dormant, Dicentra eximia continues flowering from spring through summer and into fall in many climates. The delicate heart-shaped flowers dangle from arching stems above attractive fern-like foliage that remains beautiful throughout the growing season. The flowers attract hummingbirds, adding another layer of garden interest beyond the visual appeal. The soft pink, white, or red blooms seem to glow in shaded conditions, bringing light and color to areas where few other plants can provide consistent flowering. Bleeding heart thrives in zones 3 through 9, making it suitable for most gardening regions. The plants prefer moist, well-draining soil with added organic matter, but they're surprisingly tolerant of less than ideal conditions once established. They rarely require division and have no serious pest or disease problems. The key to success with bleeding heart is providing adequate moisture during establishment and choosing an appropriate location with morning sun and afternoon shade or filtered light throughout the day. Once settled, these plants are remarkably self-sufficient and will gradually expand to form larger clumps without becoming aggressive or invasive.
5. Coral bells, year-round garden interest. Most perennials are valued primarily for their flowers, but coral bells, Heuchera, reverse this concept by offering spectacular foliage color that provides garden interest from spring through fall, with attractive flower spikes serving as seasonal bonuses rather than the main attraction. Modern coral bell varieties showcase an incredible range of leaf colors and patterns. Purple varieties like Pallas purple offer deep, wine-colored foliage that serves as a dramatic contrast to lighter-colored plants. Silver-leafed varieties like Pewter Moon provide bright accents that seem to glow in shaded conditions. Bronze and copper varieties add warm tones that complement autumn color schemes while remaining attractive throughout the growing season. The diversity extends beyond basic colors to include varieties with ruffled edges, contrasting veins, and complex color combinations that change with the seasons. Some varieties display different colors on the tops and undersides of their leaves, creating additional visual interest as breezes move through the garden. Coral bells are remarkably adaptable plants that perform well in a range of growing conditions. Darker-leafed varieties generally tolerate full sun better than lighter-colored types, but all varieties appreciate some protection from intense afternoon sun in hot climates. They're excellent choices for containers, rock gardens, or as edging plants along pathways. The plants form neat, compact mounds that rarely exceed 12 inches in height, making them ideal for front-of-border locations or small garden spaces. They're deer-resistant, drought-tolerant once established, and have minimal pest problems. The flower spikes that appear in late spring add seasonal interest without being essential for the plant's overall garden value.
6. Stokes Aster, native beauty with extended bloom time. Among the many aster varieties available to gardeners, Stokes Aster, or Stokesea laevis, stands out as exceptionally low maintenance while providing an extended flowering period that stretches from late spring through September in many climates. This native southeastern plant has been embraced by gardeners throughout the country for its reliable performance and attractive flowers. The flowers themselves are substantial and showy, measuring 3 to 4 inches across with fringed petals that give them a somewhat exotic appearance. Color options include traditional purple and blue shades, as well as pink,
white and yellow varieties. The color wheel variety is particularly interesting because individual plants produce flowers in multiple shades, with colors shifting from deep purple to lavender as the blooms age. Stokes Aster performs well in zones 5 through 9 and adapts to various growing conditions. While it prefers full sun, it tolerates partial shade reasonably well. The plants are drought-tolerant once established and rarely suffer from pest or disease problems. They form neat clumps that gradually expand without becoming invasive. One of the most valuable characteristics of Stokes Aster is its extended blooming period. While many perennials provide a brief burst of color, this plant continues producing new flowers throughout much of the growing season. Deadheading spent blooms encourages continued flowering, but even this minimal maintenance task isn't absolutely necessary for the plant's survival and general attractiveness. The foliage remains attractive throughout the growing season, providing structural interest even when flowers aren't present. The plants are also valued by beneficial insects and serve as host plants for some butterfly species, adding ecological value to their ornamental appeal.
7. Peonies, generational garden investments. Few perennials match peonies for combining spectacular beauty with minimal maintenance requirements. These long-lived plants can thrive for decades in the same location, often outlasting the gardeners who planted them and becoming treasured family heirlooms passed down through generations. The key to success with peonies lies in proper initial planting and then leaving them undisturbed. These plants resent being moved or divided and perform best when allowed to establish themselves in a permanent location. Choose the planting site carefully, ensuring full sun exposure and well-draining soil. Peony flowers are legendary for their size, fragrance, and variety. Double varieties produce massive ruffled blooms that can measure 6 inches or more across. Single varieties offer simpler beauty with prominent centers that attract beneficial insects. Colors range from pure white through various shades of pink to deep red, with some varieties offering coral, yellow, or near black flowers. The blooming period, while relatively brief, provides such spectacular impact that many gardeners plan entire garden areas around peony flowering time. Cut flowers are equally impressive and long-lasting, making peonies valuable for both garden display and indoor arrangements. Beyond their flowering period, peonies offer attractive foliage that remains healthy and attractive throughout the growing season. The plants develop into substantial, shrub-like clumps that provide structure and mass in garden borders. Fall foliage often develops attractive reddish tones before the plants go dormant for winter. Maintenance requirements are minimal once plants are established. Peonies benefit from a layer of compost or well-aged manure applied around the base each spring, but they rarely require division, pruning, or other intensive care. The main maintenance task involves cutting back spent foliage in late fall to prevent disease problems.
8. Daffodils, reliable spring celebration. While tulips capture attention with their bold colors and elegant forms, they often disappoint gardeners by declining after a few years or being consumed by hungry wildlife. Daffodils offer a more reliable solution for dependable spring color that returns and multiplies year after year. The secret to daffodils' success lies in their built-in protection systems. The bulbs contain compounds that make them unpalatable to rodents, deer, and other animals that commonly damage garden plants. This natural protection means you can plant daffodils with confidence that they'll be there to greet you each spring. Daffodils also have the advantage of naturalizing readily in most garden conditions. Rather than declining over time like many tulips, daffodil bulbs multiply underground, gradually creating larger and more impressive displays with each passing year. This characteristic makes them exceptional long-term garden investments. The variety available in modern daffodils extends far beyond the traditional yellow trumpets most people picture.
Miniature varieties are perfect for rock gardens or naturalizing in lawn areas. Large-flowered varieties make bold statements in perennial borders. Double varieties provide ruffled, rose-like flowers, while varieties with contrasting centers add sophisticated color combinations to spring displays. Planting daffodils in fall ensures spring flowers, but the timing also allows the bulbs to develop strong root systems before winter dormancy. Choose a location with full sun to partial shade and well-draining soil. Plant bulbs at a depth approximately 3 times their height, and then forget about them until they emerge in spring.
Creating your low-maintenance garden paradise. The beauty of focusing on truly low-maintenance perennials is that you're essentially creating a garden that improves with age while requiring less work from you over time. Each plant in this collection will establish itself, return reliably, and often expand to provide even greater impact in subsequent years. Remember that the initial investment in quality plants and proper planting will pay dividends for years to come. Choose varieties that are appropriate for your climate zone and growing conditions. Prepare the soil properly and give new plants adequate water during their establishment period. That's a wrap on today's guide to creating an effortless flower garden that practically takes care of itself. Remember, gardening should bring you joy, not stress. These 8 perennials will give you years of beautiful blooms with minimal effort. Don't forget to subscribe to Seniors Gardening Advice for more practical tips that make gardening easier and more enjoyable. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. And drop a comment below telling me which of these perennials you're most excited to try in your garden. If this video helped you discover new possibilities for your garden, please share it with fellow gardening enthusiasts who might benefit from these low-maintenance solutions. Together, we're building a community where gardening remains a source of joy throughout all stages of life. Until next time, keep growing and keep enjoying your garden paradise.